Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. Fall Out Boy did a really bad Billy Joel cover. Yep, the famed emo and pop punk outfit Fall Out Boy. Pete Wentz and the gang are back. Well, I mean, they've been around. They just came out with a brand new record that was pretty mid. Yes, I say it's mid, but that is an improvement over what they did on their last full-length record. I mean, that was an audio torture chamber. But as a part of this like really weird promotional cycle that the band is in the midst of, they have just randomly decided that they are going to cover the one and only Billy Joel. Are they doing a little Piano Man, a little Uptown Girl? Absolutely not. That would be too easy. No, the band decided to reinterpret the pop and political barrage that is We Didn't Start the Fire, which, if some of you watching this are unfamiliar with the original, is really just kind of like a run of historical figures and happenings in chronological order, obviously not covering every little thing that occurred over the decades of time that Billy Joel is trying to address in the original song. Still, the track does encompass a lot, and I suppose when you break it down, there's a certain formula to it in terms of like how things are mentioned and the rhyme scheme and the meter and the rhythm of it and the flow of it. And, I'll say technically speaking, musically speaking, outside of like, sticking to that chronological order piece of the pie, Fall Out Boy did a pretty faithful rendition of the whole thing, while, giving us some of those heavy guitars and Patrick Stump's over the top, really dramatic vocal stylings where he's like, really selling it at some points. That much about the cover and the reinterpretation, I suppose, is fine. But when you actually get into the nitty gritty of the lyrics, I don't know. I feel like the band didn't really do the past 30 plus years justice that they're trying to encompass here. I'll say there is a bit of a recency bias in terms of a lot of the stuff that is mentioned. And I don't know, I feel like there's a certain level of tact that should have been applied with some of the names and topics here that just wasn't. I suppose in the band's defense, the original Billy Joel version does mention some kind of grim figures and occurrences alongside more lighthearted stuff here and there. Maybe I'd have more of an emotional rise from some of the things mentioned in the Billy Joel track if I was like literally alive for most of it. But in the case of this Fall Out Boy version, which we will go over the lyrics now, some of the juxtapositions are kind of weird. Okay, here we are. Start of the track. Opening lyrics. Mentally, where is Fall Out Boy going? 90s cartoons. And do they pull from a top tier 90s cartoon that like everybody remembers fondly and loved every episode of? Highly influential, that sort of thing? No. They're like, you know what? Let's go to the D-list, Captain Planet. Even people who care about the environment didn't enjoy Captain Planet. Captain Planet, Arab Spring, LA riots, Rodney King. I mean, pretty intense smattering of, cultural events there, but I suppose it's, a par of the course for the song. Deep fakes, earthquakes, Iceland volcano. Here's where it gets a little dicey. Oklahoma City bomb, Kurt Cobain, Pokemon. That's exactly what I want in my head. My Timothy McVeigh and my Jigglypuff. Tiger Woods MySpace, Monsanto GMOs, Harry Potter Twilight, Michael Jackson dies. We continue on. Nuclear accident, Fukushima, Japan, Crimean Peninsula, Cambridge Analytica, Kim Jong-un, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man. Man, what a kooky cast of characters we get to coexist with in the current timeline. We truly are blessed. It's like I'm living in a sitcom that never gets canceled, and I just want off this show. Here's another one of my favorites. Unabomber, Bobbit John. Love the Bobbit and the John swapping of the last and first names so that we can get it to rhyme with bombing Boston Marathon. There's just a lot of bombs and explosions going on in the song. I feel like there's like a severe bomb bias. when, honestly, the past 30 years, it hasn't all just been bombs, guys. I mean, I know bombings tend to garner a lot of attention and that sort of thing. But, I feel like maybe they could have whittled it down to like the two maybe biggest bombs going off and sort of maybe, just drew their eyes to other things that occurred. If what Pete Wentz says about this track is true, that it's like, oh, it's like a little time capsule and we're referencing a bunch of stuff. Like, wouldn't you want to package that time capsule up and, make sure it's filled with things you actually want people 30 years from now to actually know about? Like 3 decades from now, who gives a fuck what Balloon Boy is? I don't even give a fuck what Balloon Boy is now, and I know what it is. Trump gets impeached twice. Polar bears got no ice. Firefest, Black Parade, Michael Phelps, Y2K. This isn't the only sort of emo / pop punk adjacent reference that, the band makes on this track. I feel like they're throwing a few of these bones in here for yeah, you guys like emo and pop punk. Boris Johnson Brexit, Kanye West and Taylor Swift. That's not the rhymiest rhyme. You could be rhyming a little more like a diamond. Meghan Markle, George Floyd, Burj Khalifa, Metroid, which I think George Floyd also did not pass for his name to be rhymed with Metroid. The original version of which on the NES came out in the fucking mid-80s, so why is it even getting space on the track? Of course, there are Metroid games that have been released since, but to me, as a gaming franchise, I associate Metroid with the 80s and the NES video gaming system, not the 90s. So, as an inclusion, this doesn't even make sense. It's tacky, it's in bad taste, and it doesn't make sense. Again, with the gravity of one thing next to another, SpongeBob Golden State Killer got caught. SpongeBob! The Golden State Killer stole me formula, not me formula. Also on the track, we have Michael Jordan 23, and then obviously Michael Jordan's, number change at 45. We already have one Michael Jordan nod on the track. Do we need two? Keaton, Batman, Bush v. Gore, I can't take it anymore. Okay. Neither can I, guys. Elon Musk, Kaepernick. Texas failed electric grid. Mars rover Avatar, self-driving electric cars, SSRIs, Queen and the Prince die. That's actually one of the few juxtapositions that's kind of cute. But then World Trade second plane, what else do I have to say? I mean, okay. We're topping it off with that powerful 9/11 type moment. If you guys noticed going through these lyrics, there's one kind of huge, fat, gigantic elephant in the room that kind of goes unmentioned here, and that's COVID, which apparently in his comments about the song, Pete just thought was too obvious of a topic, more obvious than Pokemon and 9/11. Again, if this is supposed to be some kind of, time capsule, wouldn't you want people to know about an event as major as COVID as opposed to Balloon Boy? So yeah, I feel like this cover is kind of nuts and just badly curated as far as topics mentioned and everything like that, which is why I've taken it upon myself to write an additional verse for the Fall Out Boy version covering the same year span. Because frankly, there's just some stuff that going unmentioned is kind of stupid. Carrie, ready? Instagram Harambe, looks like COVID's here to stay. Super Smash Melee, 4chan Sopranos. Occupy Wall Street, housing crisis, Clinton cheats. Monica Lewinsky, Hubble telescope. Bryan Cranston's Breaking Bad, Forrest Gump Fight Club with Brad. Mandela's out, we're all glad, leave Britney alone. Then Francis becomes the Pope, anthrax in an envelope, Biggie, Tupac, slippery slope, Fall Out Boy does Billy Joel. We didn't start the fire, it was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire, it was always burning since the world's been turning. Ba, ba, ba. So yeah, there you go. We didn't start the fire. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Billy Joel, Fall Out Boy, forever.